Hello all the crazy people out there, my name is Michael, I like wizards and dragons and making games. Welcome back to making a 3D wizard game, Zelda-like in Game Maker. Last time, we've got some deferred rendering and deferred lighting going on. That took longer than I really wanted it to, but in the end we've got it running, and we've also got it running in the beta of Game Maker 2023.3, which I wasn't really planning on doing, and maybe isn't the best idea for actually like running in production, but I really wanted to be able to make use of the new surface formats, so here we are. So today I'm going to do something that's hopefully going to be a little bit less intense, and that is going to be, I'm going to start by adding skyboxes, and I'm probably also just going to get like Spart up and running for 3D particles. If you don't know what that is, I'll get into that later on. That's one of the external systems that I'm going to drop in and probably get some use out of. But first, skyboxes. So if I can find where I put it in my computer, I'm going to be using the same skybox that I've been using since like the dawn of time in Game Maker for 3D. So this is just a cube, and this is going to be a cube, and it's going to have 6 sides as cubes often do, and each side is going to be mapped onto a part of the texture. This is not the most like efficient way to render skyboxes with regards to like arranging their textures. Modern graphical systems have, for example, cube map textures that you can just use, so you won't have to like index your textures like this. But this is Game Maker we're talking about, so that's not a thing we really can do right now. I've gone and acquired some skyboxes from this source over here, Open Game Art. I'll have the link to the to this Open Game Art page, and also to what I believe to be like this guy's website and stuff, according to the credits. So anyway, if you like these skybox images, there's a whole bunch of them. You can use those. And I don't know if that's going to be a permanent fixture in the game, or if I'm going to replace it with something more, you know, what's the word? I guess a dedicated, bespoke, whatever, created specifically for this game later. But first, let me drag that into the game. That is what the Skybox Meadows looks like. I guess I'll call it text Skybox Meadows, using the same prefix that I've been using for everything else. Throw you on your own separate texture page, and you're going to have to remind me the position, normal, and color are the vertex formats that I'm using for all of this. I guess I'll just leave that as it is. So if I open up, where is okay, it took me a minute to find which project I had used for this. But anyway, we're gonna drag the skybox texture in there so that Penguin can find it when I go to draw it. I can also drag in the actual skybox model. This is going to have the texture set to it, and I'm probably also going to want to, oh wow, that's tiny. I'm going to want to make sure that the y-axis is the up direction instead of the z-axis. So, yeah, we can turn off lighting when we're viewing this. That's going to be the, alright, so that's going to be the y-axis up, going out through the skybox. Okay. I think that is all I'm going to want to do there. And if I export you, you've got the... Alright, we removed the normals from the vertex format. And if I can find where this project belongs on my computer, we can export that. So we can save the data files with the skybox and everything. So... let's see. So drawing the skybox, this is going to be a pretty simple ordeal, I think. I'm going to want to make sure that the depth buffer is turned off. When I do that, I am going to... I guess we'd better do this all after clearing the screen, shouldn't we? I'm going to turn the depth buffer off here. We can set test enable to false. We can set write enable to false. Although test enable shouldn't matter either way because the depth buffer has been cleared. I can say matrix set, matrix world, matrix build. I'm going to want it to be centered at the camera. camera XYZ, no rotation, a uniform scale of 1, and self.meshes.skybox is its name, .render, and we should be good to go from there. And how this is going to play with the deferred rendering system, unknown object.ground not set before reading it. That's not a good sign. Oh, did I, like... That's weird. Alright, I guess I kind of just, like, didn't save this last time when I added the ground. So, let me do that again. Alright, export everything. And let's try that again. So, anyway, the point is that after doing this, we should have a skybox. And it is lit funny. It is responding to light. I would like it to not respond to light. We can see seams. In the corners, and I thought that I like got rid of those, like the seams in the corners when I set up the textures, but apparently I didn't. Although I'm gonna do some messing around, and I'm going to hopefully be able to get rid of those. Why are all these models on their sides? Did I like... Alright, I guess that was another thing that I didn't save in that Penguin model manager file, was setting the up axis of all of these objects. Anyway, let's see. So we've got ourselves a rudimentary skybox. I guess I should probably do my like updated GameMaker commit, right? So there's a couple ways that I could go about making the skybox not respond to light. This being a deferred renderer and having all of the lighting calculations done on everything on the on everything on the scene at the end, kind of makes that a little harder to separate the skybox from everything else than it would be if you were doing a forward renderer. Sometimes, people who like to write deferred renderers, and I haven't talked about this in a video, but sometimes it's nice to create another surface, which is not directly related to any like physical information about a scene, but is instead like related to material properties of a scene. In my case, I'm just going to have a material that's just like a single color channel, and we're just going to have, it's just going to be like a 1 or a 0, basically, based on whether or not whatever we're drawing should receive light. And that will be good enough for now. I don't know if I'll be getting really in-depth into more complicated materials later on. Maybe I will. Like, glowing objects might use the same thing in addition to the skybox so that they're not, like, darkened. But let's see, where do I want to set that texture? This is going to be here, I think. gbuff underscore material. In the geometry... Oh, here it is, gbuff main. In here, we are going to set frag data 0 is going to be the diffuse color. You know what I should maybe do is define gbuff diffuse, define gbuff position. Let's call it VS position. And define gbuff material. gbuff material can be a vec4, and as I mentioned, it's going to get basically either a 1 or a 0 on the red. Green, blue, and alpha are going to be ignored. For now, let me just say 1, 0, 0, and 1. The 1 on the alpha so that nothing weird happens when it comes to like alpha blending or anything like that. This can be controlled via a uniform. Let's say uniform float u underscore material type, and we can pass that into the shader in the draw event. Let's see, when we draw the skybox, I will organize this draw event better later on, either in a near future video or at the end of this video. Maybe at the end of the, like, the graphics setup milestone, I'll organize the code and the asset browser a little bit. Shader set uniform float, shader get uniform, shdg buff main, and the name is going to be this. The value is simply going to be 0 for unlit things, I think, and 1 for lit things. If I were to go into post draw and also draw the gbuff material, we should see basically black and red. So black where the sky is, red where everything that isn't the sky is, and that is exactly what we see. Okay, so we are rendering the material type to that texture. If I were to texture set stage and stage the material sampler in the deferred rendering shader, we can, oh, where did you go? Up here, sampler 2D samp underscore material, and we can sample from that. We can say float call underscore material is going to be samp material, and that's just going to be the red channel is all we care about. And then we can, like, blend the actual final color and like with the light in various ways. Since this is really just a 1 or 0 whether or not light is applied, we can use an if statement. If you're the sort of person who likes if statements, you can not use the if statement, and we can simply, like, lerp the different colors based on the material, whether or not lighting should be, like, allowed. I think I'll do the latter. So we can say GL frag color is going to be mix from call underscore diffuse. So that's the unlit color. I might want to start naming these variables a little bit more specifically. Final color. And we're going to have the lerp amount based on call material. And this, the end result of this should be that the skybox will be unlit and everything else in the world will have light applied to it. Okay, that's great. This is exactly what I wanted to have happen on the first try, no less. Good fun. The fact that fog fades in at a relatively short distance, but the skybox is not fogged out, is a little weird. And I'm also noticing that the seams in the corners are gone. We don't have any of that anymore. And that is just apparently was a result of the lighting being applied to the skybox. So that's fine. I don't have to worry about that. Sprite did its job when it, like, merged all of those pictures together. Let's see. Skybox and unlit materials is what we can call that. If I want to have fancy materials in the future, I can have, like, a regular surface underscore RGBA 8 unorm or whatever, and we can have, like, the red channel be whether or not something is lit, like the green channel be, like, whether or not something is, I don't know, emissive or whatever. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be going that deep into it. So we can check off added skyboxes. That was fun. Spart. 3D particles. This is a 3D particle system for GameMaker that I like quite a lot. I've talked about it on YouTube from time to time. Used it in Bombardier a while ago and for some other things. You can find the GameMaker forum post on it. Basically where I am now. I will have the link in the video description. Hopefully I will actually remember to put it there without having someone in the comments have to remind me. You can read about how it works, but in a nutshell, it draws 3D particles with a shader, and it attempts to do it a lot more efficiently than simply, like, drawing each particle individually, which is what a lot of people would do for particles in 3D in GameMaker, which isn't really ideal. It works pretty well. You could see some demos of it in action over here. Let's see. Oh, that's right. It is literally on the GameMaker marketplace. This is, like, one of the few things of actual note that's available only on the GameMaker marketplace. All right. Included files. Is there actually anything I need in there? There isn't. I probably can just omit that and just like only include scripts, shaders, and don't think I'm gonna need the emitter mesh as part code. I think all I'm going to need is going to be that. I'm pretty sure he removed like official support for the mesh emitters. Anyway, we can add that to our project, and I'll play around with this a little bit. I don't want to spend too long playing around with this, but I will attempt to set up some basic particles just for fun. This is my particle code from Bombardier, I guess. Let's use that as a starting place. I'm gonna call the script group_particles. And there's a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff in here that's going to need to be like adapted if I want this to work. One, my code style. Two, I'm going to probably just like use fire as my test type, because everybody loves a good fire, don't they? And I'm also going to want let's just call my systems like test effects right now. The particle sprite is something I'm gonna need in there. So we can burst from emitter. We can burst from emitter radius. We can. I did not include code to like stream from an emitter, which is probably the main thing you're gonna want to do with these. But I can get to that later. These like game settings. I can get back to those. The particle density, I'm sure that will be a setting later. Let's just create not a script. SPR particle main. We can just give this a white fill. I can resize this to something along the lines of, nope, not that, 16 by 16. And I guess I'll center it in the middle center. So that should at least that should run without anything, you know, crashing. I don't think I need this in an init function anymore. I don't remember why I did that. I don't remember why I gave this an init function. That might have been a workaround for something weird that GameMaker was doing with like the create event, or something weird that I was doing really more likely with the create event, since that was from a project in which I kind of ignored like instances and that sort of thing, and that was kind of a problem. But if I just said like particles.burst from emitter, and then we'll give it the emitter, the type, we'll put it in like the middle of the room and the amount, and then have that render. This should work. Let's see. We can burst from an emitter. The type is going to be particles dot systems dot test particles dot types dot. I'm really losing my mind here. Dot fire. Okay, that's dot fire. Nothing else. And after that, it's XYZ amount, right? XYZ amount. So if we have it burst in like the middle of the room, let's say something like 300, 0, 300, and the amount can be, let's say, 4 per step. something like that. And then I'm gonna just want to call the render method on it at the end. Oh, you know what? That's gonna be interesting because the Spart shaders also are going to need to be set up with the deferred renderer. So I'm gonna get to that in a minute. This is gonna look strange at first, but it should at least work. All right, the Spart shader is gonna take a minute to compile. Some of them I'm probably not going to need. I can probably get rid of the ones that I'm not going to need, right? Alright, why don't you like that? Unknown object at set region, not set before reading it. Did I forget to initialize something somewhere? Did I misspell test effects or... that needs to be emitters.testeffects, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got code running at least. Alright, so you're still treating the z-axis as up. You're not treating the y-axis as up. You're also not actually being textured, which is peculiar. Oh, you know what? They are being textured, but they're being textured by like that. Alright. Think about that for 2 seconds and it'll make sense. Set orientation. Set speed, set direction. I'm going to want to make your direction 0, 1, 0 instead of 0, 0, 1. That should at least make them go upwards. And they're... I suspect the coloration... The weird coloration is coming down to... hang on. If I... Just to make sure what exactly it looks like. If I draw the application surface there. So this is just going to be like drawing the diffuse colors. That is gray. All right, you're just being drawn gray. Are they just gray? You should be orange. I don't know why you're coming out as gray on the application surface, but anyway. We can commit some Spart tests. We can, at the very least, it shouldn't be that difficult. Like the mesh particles, I don't ever foresee myself using, and I could probably safely remove that to just speed up compile times a little bit. Secondary particles, I'm also not entirely sure if I'm ever going to use. Anyway, where are you written to gl underscore? That's the vertex shader. Gl underscore frag color. Okay, so we can say gl underscore frag data index 0 is going to be this. I'm going to want... Does it even matter if I write the correct world space information if you're all going to be like unlit anyway? Because the way that the snitter is calculating the world view position is a little bit weird. I think I can just pass this as a varying. Can I do that? Can I get away with this? Varying vec3 v underscore v vs position. Take that to the fragment shader. And assign that value .xyz as the d-space position value. How was I doing that in the regular one exactly? All right, that's literally just this. And lastly, we can also include the material information. Do I want to allow particles to be lit or unlit? I kind of feel like I should. I should be able to just take this and set that. Ooh, okay, that's... Huh. SHD, Spart. SH underscore Spart. He doesn't do SHD. Since I can't, unless I want to go into the Spart, shader submission code, myself and make sure that uniform is signed, I'm gonna have to, like, sort of force it to have that value out here. Possibly, inside particles render method, there might be like a lit and unlit particles distinction that I make later on. Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense. We can call that test unlit effects. And now we should at least have those particles being rendered without any light happening on them. All right, and they are going straight up. Okay. All right. Alpha blending is weird with deferred rendering, but that's par for the course. I'll leave it at that. I might not enable particles to have alpha blending on them just for stylistic reasons, just so that I don't have to deal with that later on. But anyway, we have the Spart shader working with our deferred renderer. All right, Snitter, if you're watching this, I've minimized the mutilation of your hard-earned shader code. Hopefully that'll be all I have to mess with it later on. Famous last words. So we can commit that change. I think that is all I'm going to do today. I'm going to make this, what are we? I've already lost count. This is going to be 0.4, so this is week 4, I guess. I can go into, probably get out of there, check off added Spart from this week. This recording has gone on for not nearly as long as the last one did, which I'm very happy about. The video is probably still going to be a little longer than I wanted, but that's because I just like to talk infinitely. It's kind of my own fault. Next time, I'll get to playing around with water shaders and ripple shaders, and did I put billboard shaders on the to-do list? I'll put billboard shaders on the to-do list. Whether or not I actually have time for that remains to be seen. Let's see, can I look at the project timeline? Okay, so here I don't know why last time it was giving me trouble about not being able to, like, see, like, the full project burn down chart, but this is where we are. We are advancing slowly but surely. What have we got? 550-ish points left of work to do, and that number is going to go up as I find bugs, as I think of other things that need doing that I didn't think of at the beginning, and that sort of thing. But that'll do it for now. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the video description. I've been committing to it all video. Look for the 0.4 release for what we did in this video. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute to the channel, links to that can be found in all the usual places. Otherwise, I try to post about 2 game dev videos a week. One Let's Make a Game, like this, and one tutorial. I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, Game Maker, Gamer Player, Harold Gidry, Manta Ray, Project 103, Rowdy Coder, Syndra Larson, Squarecrow, V, and Zenjament for supporting these videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.